Welcome to another week of Funhaus. This week we're talking about all sorts of things, mostly of the action-oriented. Let me introduce my guests. First up, Action Man star Bruce Green. Next up, stunt double Lawrence Sontag.
Why would he do that?
I have no idea. And finally, makeup lady John Smith.
Bruce,
Ha!
he didn't do it.
He was.
I didn't. A bunch of stuff fell on the floor, and I didn't want to injure myself.
And in case I forgot to introduce myself, I'm Adam Kovic, and I'll be hosting your episode of an impossible episode of motorcycle driving and long flowing hair on top of a 55-year-old male who made a cool $70 million just by breaking his foot.
Did he really make $70 million for this
The
film?
movie came out positive before it even came out.
I see what you're saying.
Because
Box office.
Because the Lloyds because the Lords of London or Lloyds of London or whatever will insure crazy actors for doing crazy things.
I told you.
What? I told me what?
Sorry, Lawrence and I were talking about this last night. That because he was saying that it cost. The production was $40 million more expensive because of him breaking his foot.
Oh.
But I said there's probably crazy insurance, and it was a trick, and he faked his foot injury.
I don't know that.
Well, the thing that I read said that it raised the box office, the need for the box office take for this movie.
I believe that. I believe that for sure.
Either way, today on the episode, I think we're mostly just going to be talking about Mission Impossible Fallout because all you guys went and saw it last night. I have not, so I will be like you, viewer. Well, 50%, I imagine. Some of you have probably seen it. Some of you haven't. I'll be asking all the questions like, who's in it? What's the plot? And is it impossible?
We should be able to avoid spoilers as well.
We'll try our.
Yeah, just so everybody knows.
If you do it,
Not a lot to spoil, to be honest.
Every time I cover my ears, you audience, you don't want to spoil, also cover your ears.
What's wrong? What are you laughing
I was just gonna say it's either yes or no. Like we might not.
I mean, like, what I'm saying is they'll be very light spoilers.
We'll be fair about it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know that. Well, I don't know that the necessities of the plot are really like.
They're not.
No discussion of the film hinges on the.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the
factoring
thing.
the
We could
story.
spoil the entire movie, and it wouldn't matter because the
Yeah.
only cool stuff about the movie is all the fucking action sequences.
Right. Exactly.
He's trying to save the world.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
And also let you guys know that this episode of Funhaus brought to you by Hims. We'll be hearing more about them around the halfway mark of the show. So first up, I'll just go around the room, and no need to go one at a time. Just shout out at me however you want because we're being impossible to work with each other today. And
Pour my coffee in Bruce's
No, please.
I guess
real
overall,
impossible.
how would you guys just say, how was the film going experience with a movie like this?
I liked
I'm
it.
actually not going to shout all at once.
No, that's fine.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot better than 5. I'll say that.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is amusing given it's the same director. To me, honestly, felt like the inversion. So Sam Mendes, and I feel like Bond movies are the closest point of contact you can start making for these movies. It wasn't a while ago. Now it is. It was like Skyfall into Spectre. To me, was it Rogue Nation? Felt a lot like Spectre. It was like goofier and campier. Mm-hmm. This felt more like Skyfall. It's trying to be a little more grounded, a little more realistic.
It was.
And you rewatched all of the movies before getting up to this point, Lawrence?
I did, except for Rogue Nation. I didn't get around to that one. And plus, man, by the end of it, I was a little burnt out on
Rogue Nation's
Tom
when
Cruise run around.
That's when he climbs the building.
No.
Go.
Wait, which one? No, that's Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol is
Brad Bird.
building climb. Rogue Nation is plane hold.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how my brain processes
Plane
these
hold,
movies.
some blobby CG cars and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Bruce?
I really liked it. It's you will not be disappointed if you see this in movie theaters, and I think that's the best way to see this movie. Otherwise, you watch it at home. You may enjoy it. You may not. I mean, it is exactly the same thing as every other Mission Impossible film except for the first one. But Lawrence is right. It is 100% more grounded. It did feel more real. Whereas, what was the most recent one? Ghost Protocol? Was
No.
Ghost
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
Well, see, who cares?
Yeah. They get hard to distinguish after 3.
Rogue Nation seemed ridiculous, and this one didn't seem as ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Which I appreciated.
John, what would you, on a scale of...
John actually saw the film.
Well, see,
Yeah.
here's the Bruce.
first time this
Bruce
week.
saying, "Don't be disappointed in theaters." I think the best way to see it is how Lawrence and I saw it, which was drunk
Yeah.
and with D-Box.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
The D-Box for this film
we
did not disappoint.
splooged for the D-Box.
Of course.
I'd never done D-Box before. It was very jarring, and it got really old really
That was your
fast.
first D-Box? No way.
Yeah.
It was great.
That was my first D-Box, and I'd say about 35 minutes in, I was over it.
You could have turned down the intensity.
35 minutes. This movie's 2.5 hours long.
It was 2.5 hours of action, so it's just
Fuck
2.5
yeah.
hours of rocking around. And
Oh.
the thing was that sometimes they eat like, it was D-Box the whole time. So even when they're in a car talking, you're just kind of
Yeah.
sitting there bouncing in your seat.
There's some rumblies when there's nothing
but then
going
they'd
on.
get out of a car and it would stop and I'd kind of forget about it. But then someone would suddenly get punched and you'd like, it would throw you. It was very, my back hurts.
For any audience members listening or watching, a D-Box here in America is a seat that shakes along with the
most
movie.
opulent
It's like a mini roller coaster.
Yeah, and it tilts. It tilts and shakes.
A little bit of history for you guys out there. Back in the 50s and 60s, cinemas experimented with a little thing called smell-o-vision.
Oh, I thought you were going to
and 3D, but they gave up on those things because they were stupid.
Yeah.
Well, there was also something called Sense-Around, which is like they put subwoofers in like every aisle. The idea being that when the movie got loud, it would like shake you, but it actually like disturbed pregnant women and made people have like stomach issues, so they
Cool.
retired it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, but D-Box is the
shit
newest thing to
yourself.
give people heart issues.
Turns out, if you just have good sound and good picture, a movie is very watchable,
Yeah.
and you
that.
don't need, not everything needs to be a goddamn roller coaster.
True.
Fuck
I
that.
would agree. I would agree. The weird. So I guess going into the problems with this film, just really quickly, because I don't think there are many problems with the.
I would
movie.
love to cover pros and cons, but
Oh yeah, what do you want to start with, Adam?
I want to hear your cons.
Okay, yeah. So the cons are for me. Number one, I think the entire movie is spoiled in the trailer. I think that every time you see something in the trailer, there is an extended action sequence around it. So I kind of knew. Unfortunately, I knew the way most action sequences would end because of the trailer. And I'd seen that trailer a number of times because it's one of the best trailers this year. But I knew, like, we're not going to spoil anything from the movie. But watching the trailer, okay, all right, this is what's going to happen. This is why this guy is this way. This is why this guy is this way. That kind of thing. That said, though, the action's amazing. Like, it's unbelievable. It's on the order of a Transformers film, but more realistic, more practical.
Yeah, it's not just giant robot CG monsters punching each other.
Which
it's
I don't like.
real, like, physical
Yeah.
action, and you can feel it.
Yeah,
It's great.
Would you say that's more like a Fast and the Furious then?
Not even that.
No, it's not.
Fast and Furious is getting superhero like Marvel blobby.
It
Well,
is.
I guess
It
at one
is.
point it looked like, what is it, when they're doing the bank heist thing with they have a giant safe? Wasn't that at least like
In
somewhat
Fast 5?
practical?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
Fast 5.
and
Okay.
actually they were one of the set pieces near the end was, I thought, leading up to a sort of Fast 5 thing. When the helicopter has that like payload on the end of it,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna do like a big mace fight with helicopter. No, it didn't really happen that way. But yeah, Fast 5 was a little more grounded. So yeah, I think.
But now
post
we're
5.
at number
now-
8 now, I think.
Yeah.
And number 8's ridiculous.
Sorry, I forgot that we saw that movie. I keep thinking that was a dream.
No, we saw
Where it's
it.
like there's no fucking way they were this franchise about DVD stealing became about them like trying
much
to
more
stop
now.
a Russian sub.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that happened. Shit, I forgot.
I think
anyway.
that's what this movie Mission Impossible. I think Mission Impossible now suffers from sort of Fast and the Furious because now every movie is, oh my gosh, the whole world's at stake. And it's like Marvel films, the same deal, where like you can't do that every movie. You can't have him save the world every single time. But again, you're not going to not enjoy this movie. I think you'll enjoy it regardless. It's just there is literally nothing at stake. There's nothing at stake. I didn't think anybody would die for 1 second.
Something I thought that I realized during the movie, which is something that I really appreciate, was that they really, like I said before, they focused on real physical action. And I realized that in the scene that you've all seen in the trailers where he reloads his arms.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that was, instead of 30 dudes running in and they're all just punching dudes in the face, it was just one capable man
Yeah.
fucking them up.
Which was cool.
Yeah, and it was so much better,
Yeah.
and the sound design was so great. Like that. What I really liked about also about the action scenes is that there were a lot of times where the music ducked out, and it was just really good sound design.
Absolutely.
And like that's the best kind of action.
Yep. I agree.
When you can just feel it and the sound and everything. It's not just like always just music going.
Most films in Hollywood have been striving to hit the pod race scene from episode 1.
I was going to say
recalls mostly
Transporter
sound
2,
design.
but that's good too. When they're fighting with the hose or in the boat, those are great sequences.
Those are good sequences. Same with Dark Knight Rises when Batman fights Bane.
Oh, boy, that gave me
They cut the
chills.
music out, and that's just a brutal fight. Same deal here. You're right.
I wanted to ask you guys, how is Henry Cavill in the film?
He's fantastic.
He is,
I loved him.
he is basically, as far as I can tell from what I've seen from preview footage, he is the antagonist, though he sort of also works for the government.
It's,
the US
you'll
government,
see.
who we all know is the good
it's
guy.
business.
The
Like,
trailer
that's the
implies
thing.
a different arc than the movie actually has.
Okay.
And
Well, I guess I don't want to know too much plot-wise. How,
you don't need
how
to
is he as a character and as an actor entering this this beloved franchise?
Man, I was super impressed. He not only like delivers lines well and holds the screen really well, but his action sensibilities are super, super good too.
Yeah, they are.
The way he holds himself and delivers punches and takes punches and his body language on screen is just super phenomenal. I was honestly super impressed. I didn't think he was going to be this good.
Really, Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
He's been doing action for years.
I mean, he did Immortals and then he was in Man of Steel, but none of those really displayed just like practical body stunt work.
He's in Justice League, and he's in Batman vs.
He's
Superman.
flying around in
He's all
Justice
just a
League
blobby
in
man.
tights.
Yeah, he stands there and then he turns into a CG monstrosity. This is just him and a camera like selling action and it.
Oh, Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's in that.
Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of like brawling action in that. But this movie, his portrayal in this reminded me a lot of Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
I guess
not in a bad way.
Well, he's playing the opposite end. I was thinking
Yeah,
about
he's the
that.
other
like,
guy, yeah.
He is.
He's not the whimsical agent. Now he's the super hard ass. I thought what they were going to do is it reminded me a lot of when they introduced Hobbs or The Rock into Fast and Furious. He was like the fire and brimstone, like good guy, and I thought that was going to be the dynamic they go with. Wasn't quite. It was sort of, but then they kind of twisted a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, they tried a similar thing with this, if you recall, during, I want to say, the fourth one, Ghost Protocol, right? They introduced
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye himself.
Yes.
Is he in this movie at all?
No.
He apparently he was supposed to be, but MCU stuff. He was doing Hawkeye stuff. So
Clearly not, because we didn't see him in Avengers. You know, he's going to show up
In
there.
Rogue Nation, was he in any of the action? Because I only watched the first 10 minutes of Rogue Nation because I'd watched all the movies, and I got to 5 and I started and I was like, I can't
It's
do another
exhausting.
one of these. But he was there in the courthouse. But was he actually in any of
Was
the
he?
action? I guess none of us.
Remember?
I don't remember
I guess
him
5
being
was
in
the one
anything.
that none of us really watched.
The rumor I had heard was that they were trying to basically tailor him to take over the Ethan Hunter role.
That's what I thought.
Because Tom Cruise is like, hey guys, I'm getting older. And then Jeremy Renner was in it and went, you know what? I think I'm going to live another 300 years. Xenu told me that, so
Never
let's
mind.
do it. And here we are.
We are flush with China money, and I'm going to make stunt movies until I die.
It does seem like that with this movie. It seems like Tom Cruise is done with the franchise. Actually, supposedly this is the last movie in the franchise.
Really?
Until it makes
That's what
$300 million.
I read that last night. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Until it makes more money. But regardless, it seems like Tom Cruise is like, I am going out on the biggest stunts I've ever done, and that's what he does in these movies. Like,
Okay.
there's the Halo jump, and there's the helicopter stunts. Like the bike stunts are amazing.
Were the helicopter stunts? He had a safety line, right?
Yes, he did have a safety line.
Okay.
Stunt's a stunt, though.
It's still an
Yeah,
unbelievable
it's still like
thing.
a wide shot of him hanging on the underside of a helicopter.
But he
It's
also,
like,
at
then
one point,
dropping?
at one point he falls.
He falls like 30 feet.
like it is insanity. Like
onto a giant ball of pillows.
That itself is
in
about
the air.
300 feet in the air.
It's
Yeah,
spinning in the air. It's,
But then he catches onto the side of it. Like it's all one smooth take.
it's
I
wild.
could do that.
It's wild.
The thing that I love about this movie, and if you haven't seen Christopher McQuarrie's previous movies, like Way of the Gun is one of the best practical action films, if you even want to call it that.
Way of the Gun?
Yeah.
It's a
check
Benicio
it
del
out.
Toro and Ryan Phillippe joint.
Yeah. It's weird,
There's a fun little shootout scene I remember, like in Mexico, where
Yeah.
they're like falling on glass and shit, and you're like, wow.
There's a lot of
Cool.
super
Painful.
practical gunfights to the point where it's like kind of gross. Like action movies usually make gunfights cool. Way of the Gun made them like disturbingly accurate. So if you want to see like the same sort of sensibilities with like wide, clean shots of solid action sequences, you should go back to that. But also this movie has a lot of those coming back. And that's one of the things I didn't like about 5. It was getting a little too jump cutty, which is a bummer when you have practical stunts. I feel like you're massacring it. That's what you do to hide stuntmen.
Yep.
And if you have the actual actors doing practical work, you should get it all in one clean take.
Absolutely.
And this movie did a lot of that.
That shot's not in the movie.
That shot's not in the movie. I was waiting for that
Nice.
shot because that shot specifically, for the audio listeners, it's the one that ends a lot of the Mission Impossible trailers where
yeah.
it's a head-on collision at 60 miles per hour with 2 trucks.
Well, he's actually in the helicopter.
Yeah, he's in the helicopter going down
in
a road.
in that shot.
I thought so. It looks like he's in the
okay.
cockpit of a helicopter.
It's not in the movie.
Yeah,
It's
when I
not
was-
in the movie.
When I was watching the helicopter sequence, I was like, how is he going to get down to a road and run into a semi?
Yeah, that's
Oh, that is a helicopter.
I
I
was
mean,
all-
it's probably a car made to look like a helicopter. but-
and I only know this because I've seen this trailer 80,000 times because they've been playing it nonstop since September last year.
Yeah.
Was it?
And-
Ooh,
No,
is that the?
no, it's
No, it's Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that one.
which
I'm
I
such
guess
a fan of like nearly black and white action sequences too. The bathroom fight is so good. They're all wearing like black suits on white backgrounds, and just the contrast.
It's really nice.
Makes you read all the body language really well.
besides Way the Gun, what else has the writer-director done?
He did the last Mission Impossible, and then there was one other one in the middle, I think.
Isn't he the Jack Reacher guy?
Yes, he did
Yeah,
Jack Reacher.
That
That's the
makes
one.
sense.
And Jack
Okay.
Reacher has some of the best action sequences. Like, so
Jack Reacher 1, not 2.
yeah, sorry, 2 is very bad.
Which
but
just is Mission Impossible, right? It's Tom
Yeah,
Well,
Cruise.
it's Ethan goes on vacation.
Jack Reacher's even more practical. One of the things I like about really good action sequences is it's not just all action all the time. It's got a high and a low to it.
Yeah.
So they'll trade blows. One guy will go down. They'll look at each other, and then they'll come back up. Jack Reacher has one of the best sequences when Tom Cruise is in that house and the 2 thugs try to get him. They like hit him in the back of the head. He's in the bathtub like dazed, and they're like fighting each other trying to get in there. So they're mixing comedy and pacing and good action and really practical stunts. This movie has notes of that. It's not quite as solid as Jack Reacher.
We're watching a scene right now where he's in Paris going through the famous roundabout, driving against traffic, and
He really did that.
because Tom Cruise is
He really did that with no helmet.
yeah.
he's a crazy man. He
Yeah.
does all stunts himself.
Yeah.
Imagine being the stunt driver's like, please don't kill Tom Cruise. Please
Yeah.
don't kill Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And
No,
then-
he really did. I don't know.
That's
I'm
CGI.
pretty
That
sure
didn't
CG.
happen. Yeah.
That's another thing I haven't heard from you guys yet about what you didn't like. But there were a couple of CG shots at the very end of the film that were like, oh, come on.
Oh, really?
You
The
could have
whole-
done better than that.
The whole final thing where they go to the last place and they have the final showdown.
Yeah.
That I did not enjoy any of that. I was just like over it.
To actually the opposite of John, the theater I was in, the audience loved it.
Really?
They loved every single minute of it. It was like every time something fell or whatever, the audience was like,
Gasps.
like they gasped, which is pretty good. I was into it, but like I had said before, nobody was going to die in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was no way.
The spectacle of that finale did reach beyond what a lot of the movie settled on. So it was a bit of a leap. It was getting a little more spectacular.
It was, yeah.
But I think it's a really unique scenario for an action finale.
Yeah.
And it also reminded me a lot of like Speed, action movies that will show moments of tension, a little Hitchcockian in that way almost, where it's 2 dudes brawling and then you cut to this other thing that is like shaking and rattling and it's just escalating tension and providing layers of tension in a finale. So
Yeah.
it wasn't the practical stunt like explosion that I guess I was hoping for, but I thought it was really good functionally in the movie.
Yeah.
Bad stuff though, villain motivation, man. You got to get away from we got to kill everyone to make the human race stronger. That's been about 3 Mission Impossible villains at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the main plot? Is let's nuke society so that
I'd be
because
I'd be
is it
cagey
like
about
a-
it, but it's been done.
It's
like,
anarchy.
It's Ra's al Ghul. It's Ra's al
Yeah,
Ghul
yeah, yeah.
in Batman.
But it's also
Is it Ra's or Roz?
Like-
Whatever. Ra's al Ghul. I don't care.
because I was thinking about it. The political, like it used to be, this like either this country or this religious extremist group is trying to just fuck shit up because of their religious beliefs or political alignment. I mean, that's always the movies, but it feels like because
sometimes it's just practical spy stuff. In 1, it was about a list of cover names.
Yeah.
In 3, it was about an arms dealer.
Notice you skipped over 2.
Well, yeah. 2 was about a world-ending super virus, but also
It
still
was
about
mostly about the motorcycles.
Yeah, it was
And Limp
largely.
Bizkit.
They bike fight.
They do bike fight.
And then 4 was about almost exactly the same villain motivation of I'm going to use nuclear bombs to cleanse the world.
Yeah.
We'll finish up with our final thoughts at the end of this. Well, their final thoughts. Just take this moment to remind you that this episode of Funhaus is brought to you by Hims. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat ED, also known as erectile dysfunction. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you combat ED. That is a thing that has happened recently. There was an old pill that has recently become generic, and now people can get it for the much more affordable price. So severe ED isn't just the issue for rich Hollywood types. Changed it a little bit from the other podcast read. But they are still sitting in bathtubs. Why are they doing this?
Always.
I don't.
Always.
That's where they conduct their business, those
Maybe
sick
that's
Hollywood types.
the only place they can bone out.
But ED has been known to affect those of men in their 30s and their 40s, just like everyone sitting here right now, except for John, who I think is still in his 20s.
It
Yeah.
affects men in their late
I'm
20s
23.
too. Yeah.
Wow, what a young strapping lad. Anyway, for the rest of you out there, though, basically, Hims wants to let you know that it's erectile without the dysfunction. Hard mode, made easy. Say hello to your little friend. Little movie reference there for you. Film called Scarface came out in the 80s. He had ED problems because he did too much coke, but that's a different thing.
Is Coke Dick a thing? It's probably a thing.
I think it is.
sure
I know
it is.
whiskey
Yeah.
dig it. Yeah. Anyway, so do us a favor and please try Hims for a month today for just $5. They'll get you started for $5 while supplies last. Go to hims.com. forhims.com/filmhouseed. That's forhims.com/FILMHAUSED. forhims.com/filmhouseed. As always, please consult a doctor before taking any sort of medication. That's just the smart thing to do. So thank you, Hims, for sponsoring this podcast. All right, back to our Lord and Savior, Tom Cruise, and how he's going to save us all from financial box office disaster. Is this movie everything you guys wanted it to be and more?
It's not more.
Okay, it's just exactly what you were expecting.
That's exactly what I was expecting.
All right, that's fair.
I just realized in this trailer that Ethan Hunt has visions of the future.
He has dreams, yeah.
Well, he has dreams, but of apocalyptic with the guy who escaped.
Yeah.
So he basically had a dream about what was going to happen in the movie.
Well, they refer to that in this film basically like from the previous movie where he's like, I'm scared of Solomon Lane, which is the guy with the beard, the terrorist with the beard.
Is he in the last movie?
I think he was in the last movie too, right? Wasn't he?
Oh, I didn't
No.
remember that.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea.
Maybe.
I always saw these movies
thought
as
he
basically
was.
just standalone. Like, I kind of assumed these were how they were made after.
There's little nods back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe they made him look different.
They referenced the
'Cause-
first Mission Impossible again in this movie.
They did.
Yeah.
Do they say John Voight's name?
No, she's the daughter of Max.
And Max was
Who?
the...
Oh, she
Max
is?
Yes.
The White Widow?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
That's in the IMDb trivia.
Well, they
I,
also say it in the movie out loud.
Something I really like, movies are just a collection of characters and scenes and everything. But in terms of like spy movies,
Oh,
It's-
whatever you're going with that one.
it's all there's always the character archetypes that every spy movie has. And I think they did really well with like those side characters that you meet along the way. Like I really liked the White Widow.
Oh yeah, he was in 5.
That's what I thought.
Well,
Okay,
damn.
but he looked different. He didn't have the big bushy beard.
He was haunted. He was haunted by the character, basically.
Okay.
Because they kept referring to that, and I was like, I don't remember 5 at all.
I was wondering that.
would
I think he
assume
had
that-
glasses and looked all proper MI6 in 5.
The feeling I get when they produce these films is that they're trying to make a movie for everybody.
Holy sh!
Yeah, they
Sorry,
really-
there was just a slow-mo of a stunt.
I'm sorry, I'll dangle some keys for you later. But these are movies that are made for everyone to enjoy, but you don't necessarily have to watch the other movies. And
No.
so my fear is that it's one of those movies that tries to please everyone and therefore pleases nobody.
No.
But you guys are saying it's a pretty solid action.
No. You'll enjoy the movie. This is, again, I was trying to liken this to the Marvel Cinematic Universe because I watch all the Marvel movies, and typically I've heard the main complaint is that nothing is at stake. No one will die. You know that Captain America will be just fine at the end of every film. And that's the way this movie is. but I don't know why I didn't identify with the characters in this movie as much as I do in the Marvel movies. I was thinking about it more and more, and I think you're right, Adam. They're making it for everybody every time. So there's no stakes even. It's just sort of like here's another spy movie that he's going to do.
The only reason you ever care about Ethan, or the way the movie tries to make you care about him, is by constantly throwing back to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Which is what all the movies have done since 4, which
3.
is fine.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
he married her in 3, but yeah.
I honestly forgot about that plot line so long ago.
It's the only thing they keep hammering. There's no other way they give Ethan Hunt any humanity anymore. He's just he is only an American, like a sweet American super spy killing machine. Even though they try to make a point of him not being a murderer or whatever. It would be nice if in previous movies, like in 3, it started dropping off after Mission Impossible 3. They stopped giving Ethan Hunt character scenes at all.
Yeah.
There's like one scene at the very beginning where he interacts with Benji just a little bit, who is Simon Pegg's character. And like that, I can tell that's when Tom Cruise was trying to cram all the charisma he could in that character in that one scene, because that's it. The rest is him running, shooting, getting hit, hitting people, and falling off things.
Which he's good at.
It's fine. Yeah, he's very good at it. But I think there's, like you were saying, Bruce, that does mean you're not really biting your nails when he's in duress, because he's just kind of an old Ronin at this point, running around saving America every week. There's not a whole lot of there's not a lot of texture to his character anymore because there's no room in the movie for it. It's just packed to the gills with stunt sequences.
Perhaps he follows this life because he can't commit to a married relationship.
That's well. I mean, they allude to
He
that.
did commit to it, but
Yeah.
it put her in too much danger. I mean, it's kind of the Batman
It is,
setup
yeah.
if you think about it.
It is. They allude to that.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, John. You watched all the movies leading up to this,
No, I watched 1, 3, and 4.
and then Lawrence also watched most of them, and then
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Bruce
but
has a vague memory of most of these movies, like myself.
One I have memorized because I've seen it so many times.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
But the rest of them,
they
who
kept
knows? Interchangeable.
They kept using musical stings from the first one too, which is
did.
awesome.
They
'cause
did.
Danny Elfman's score is so good.
I'm glad you brought that up. It wasn't Danny Elfman. It's some random composer you've never heard. I went and looked
they
it up.
credited it to Elfman. That's weird.
The movie's music is awesome, and it's not anybody you've really even heard of. It's like Lorne Balfe or Lorne Wolfe or some weird name.
What did Elfman do for that movie then?
He might have redone
did
the
the theme?
original. Maybe you saw the original composer for the television series.
No, the original composer is Lalo Schifrin. I know that. He composed the theme of Mission Impossible. But I went and looked it up on IMDb, and it was just some dude. It was literally just some dude. He'd done a few other movies, but the music is awesome.
Great job, dude.
Where I actually want you guys to do the Impossible Mission,
All right.
and rank this movie among all the other ones.
Okay.
Where does it land
Jeez.
on a scale, I guess, of 1 to what are we on? 16.
Like just as a package overall, or like just by the stunt
If you
work
were
of
to,
it?
if you were to rank all the movies,
Oh, man.
I'm not asking you to rank all the other movies. I'm
Sure.
just saying, where does this land on the Ethan Hunt's chart of stopping terrorism?
I would say it's third. The first one, then 3, then 6. Then
You don't
2.
have to list the rest.
I was just trying to make sense of it in my head to make sure I
That's
didn't
fine.
leave any of them out.
Do you
I would
guys,
say 3 won this.
three's the best here?
Three's the
Okay.
best, then 1, then this one.
Interesting.
I'm with Lawrence. It's 1's the best for me, and then 3, and then this one.
Okay.
3 is the only one I kind of remember. I don't like the other ones. Rogue Nation, Ghost Rogue. I saw them in theaters, and again, no idea what happened.
So when I did my marathon, I started watching 2, and I think we got like 30 minutes in, and it was when the cars were spinning
Hell
hooked
yeah.
together on the road, and it was just like, I can't handle
it's-
this. So we stopped, and we started 3, and the opening scene is a flash forward to like where he's with his wife in China, like at gunpoint, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is like, I'll give you 10 seconds to tell me where the bomb is. And he's counting down, and like those first 2.5 minutes are, I'd wager it's one of the most intense,
It is.
like best opening scenes of a movie ever. Like where
It's great.
out the gate, you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's
Yeah.
three is a great movie. This one, for better or for worse, you're gonna watch it and then not remember it at all.
Well, most movies struggle with even nailing a trilogy, if this one could get you through 6 and you can go, you know what, they're all about the same or pretty good, that's a fine accomplishment, I suppose.
It is. It's an enjoyable film. I challenge you to, in 1 year, come back to me and tell me what happens.
Before we go,
put that up to a weak villain.
before we go, actually, something I want you guys. I have another impossible challenge for all of you.
Oh,
I didn't give you any time to prep for this because you have to kind of improv this.
Always ready.
I want everyone to go around and give a little recommendation of what you're watching and what you should go watch this weekend if you're not going to sit down and experience the life of Ethan Hunt and friends.
Jeez,
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mercedes. Was that Irish?
What the hell was that?
Hey, Mr. Mercedes. I can't do an Irish accent. Brendan Gleeson. I have no idea where it really airs.
I'm not sure what he's talking. What's the name of the show?
It's called Mr. Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
It's from what's his name? Kevin E. Kelly or something like that. David E. Kelly.
Where can you
who
watch
made
it?
like Boston Public. It's on AT&T's streaming service.
Oh,
Okay.
But it's basically, if you guys have seen The Fall or other shows where they do the dual thing where they follow the detective and the killer.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows, and it's Brendan Gleeson, Mad-Eye Moody, one of my favorite actors ever.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at his IMDb, and I saw he was in the show, and I was like, 10 hours of Brendan Gleeson? Yes, please. But the show actually, although really dark, it's really good. I'm like 2 episodes in, and I was watching it this morning over breakfast, and I was so into it that I loaded it up on my phone and watched it on my lift into work. And then I begrudgingly got out of the lift. He kept telling me to get out.
Lawrence, you watched some crappy movie recently?
Yeah. Well, always.
Always, yeah.
I watched Adventures in Babysitting last night. That was fun.
That's a good one. Thor's in it.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, well, Kingpin's in it.
Yes.
But,
But he plays Thor.
Yeah, he does actually. A little
I
ironic.
remember that. That's a very old movie.
What do you recommend?
Adventures in Babysitting.
I don't know, man. I watch trash. I'm not fit to recommend anything to anybody.
That's Adventures in Babysitting is a fine recommendation.
Wolf Warrior. If you're interested in action and you like the practical stunts, or you're looking forward to the practical stunts in Mission Impossible, Wolf Warrior 1, super good. Yeah, you can rent it. I mean, it's
Scott Adkins.
Yeah, of course it's Scott Adkins. Or Transporter 2, or Way of the Gun. Any of those 3, if you want some classic action. It's good shit.
Some good appropriation. Bruce, you got a recommendation for our
appropriation? It's a Chinese movie.
For an action, I mean anything. I kind of maintain that still the best television action series ever to exist is 24.
Right.
And I watched all of it and I loved it. But 24 is I'd say kind of in the middle. I think season 2 is kind of garbage. But season 1 and then starting at season 3, just all of it's so good.
All right.
Season 1's great, but there is the whole cougar thing.
The cougar thing is stupid because they had to fill 24 episodes. If you get to the later seasons, they only did 12 or 13. And it's way better. 24 is awesome.
Cool.
I don't think it ever disappoints.
All right.
Can I recommend another thing?
Sure.
Happy Death Day.
Oh yeah, is that out on digital now?
It is out on digital,
Great.
and from the
excited for
trailer, I was like, this might be a garbage movie, but I'm willing to see it. And it was way better than I thought it was going to be. And it's a great twist on. It's basically Groundhog's Day with a girl keeps getting murdered by a masked man, and she's like, what the fuck? And it's good. It's really good.
I have to pay for this? Okay. I'm going to say go watch Isle of Dogs. That's probably possibly the best movie I've seen this year.
Oh, I need to see that.
Yep, and we are off next week to RTX, so we'll have a special pre-recorded version of Funhaus going up for you guys, so it probably won't be timely. It's going to be some concoction of a list, so
that's all right.
Look forward to that, and that's okay. So thank you for listening, watching. Be sure to tell a friend, download it, share it, all those fun things. It keeps this show alive, and support our sponsors. Remember, throw that out there for those who forgot. Make sure you go to forhims.com/filmhouseed in case you missed it. There it is. And we'll see you guys next week. Maybe some of you in person. So goodbye.
Because they're all nerds. And they don't, and a few of them are. There's one that's the brown skinned kid who's actually pretty good.
Wow.
He's like the Jacob Batalon, what's the guy's name from Spider-Man?
Oh yeah. Kid in the chair.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man's friend.
Gotcha.
He's not bad. That kid's terrible. But